yours as well as why the hell is calling out members
Recording, by the
who
way.
have freedom of speech, freedom of association, and I mean, even you fear your association with even us. Just
Even a book.
for fear of. I mean, I understand your fear,
With
but
an issue.
what are you scared of? I mean, are you scared of the left and their opinion of you, or what the Republican Party will do to you? To associate? I mean, because
He was never, that's what I'm saying.
I'm technically who would be interviewing people like you, correct? Central Committee members, we interview people who are going to run for office so they could eventually, we present them to our constituents as who's going to win office, right? That's kind of my job, is to interview people running for office. You've already been in, and I support you fully. You've embraced the vaccine movement, which is huge and helpful, and a lot of my people love that about you. But I think what I wanted to bring attention to is do you support people's freedom of speech and their freedom of association? I mean, you know.
I understand. I hear what you're saying, and you guys are presumably some of my constituents. My door is always open to any constituent. I'm here to serve you. I mean, I'll be honest. I have no interest in your group. I have no interest in being involved with it. I have no interest in affiliating with it in any way.
Understood. That's
understood. And so I just want you to be clear about that. Honestly, my focus right now is on the recall campaign. I need to do whatever is gonna,
Well, they're dragging me through the mud with that too. They've already
In regards
associated
to
me
the
with the
BLM
recall
movement,
effort.
if there were some of your colleagues that backed the BLM movement, would you speak against it, or would you just say, no, I don't want any affiliation? How would that transpire?
The BLM. Again, that's not something that I engage with. So
So it's the same as us. Kind of just don't know. You just want to take care of your constituents. You're not going to join a group or favor any group.
Right.
My job is to serve my constituents.
That's all we ask.
Yeah.
And I just was confused because I didn't know what was going on, so I don't really want to speak on what your drama was. But I figured I would, since I am an elected official.
But I mean, we've all seen the burning of the cities and the tearing down of businesses and the hurting of people, and it's not coming from the right. This is coming from the left, and it's totally backed. I mean, it went from saying Antifa is just a thought or just a make-believe thing to Antifa being actually endorsed by Biden and by the left.
BLM's getting Nobel Peace Prize.
Antifa's in the White House, from what I heard.
Yeah.
Antifa's their website is in.
White supremacists, which we are so far. But anyway,
Yeah, we have every walk of
Yes,
life.
I mean,
in our
I
organization.
guess my question would be, if you've heard nothing of us, why disassociate or disavow? That's kind of, for me as a conservative, I know my brothers and I know what the movement stands for, and I think a lot of the people on the right are allowing the left to dictate and give the definition of who we are, and people on our side are like, oh yeah, that's all right, because the left said so. And that's what I think we're concerned about as your constituents. Our elected officials shouldn't be bailing on us who put them in office for fear of what the opposite party thinks of them. We support you. You know what I mean? You were elected by conservatives. You live in a conservative community. 95% of my friends that know you are all conservative, and you even have a lot of supporters that are in the middle, which is great. But I think freedom of speech and freedom of association is a very important thing. It is the First Amendment for a reason. And so I think a lot of people want to know what our elected officials feel. Do you think that it's okay that the GOP throws me out for my affiliation with the Proud Boys?
All right, look, I just got to repeat. I want you to understand, I want nothing to do with the group. I have no affiliation with it. That's my choice.
Well, I'm asking you on a professional level.
Let me just say, as I will treat every constituent that I have with dignity as an individual, but your groups and your affiliation, that's not something I want to be involved with in any way. So
Could you say why, Kevin? I'm curious.
that's just my position, and
I'm an elected official. So what I'm asking you is, are you okay with the GOP's executive board voting me out for being a national member?
I have no involvement. It's their decision.
You can't even tell me what your opinion is of it?
It's their decision.
Okay. I think
Is it
that
not
speaks volumes.
very similar to, we'll go to World War II, throwing a yellow star on everybody, segregating them, putting them in social media ghettos. Like, all of our accounts have been destroyed. We have no platform other than in the third dimension, right here. So what do we do from this point? If we're being deplatformed all over and disenfranchised just because we are patriots, number one. No matter who, we affiliate with all kinds of groups, the 3%ers, American Guard, all these groups, right? We go out there and protect the mothers that go and fight for the health freedom movement. I mean, we go out there and it's not about you or this or you or that. It's we're all patriots. We love our country, and we want you to also get on board with just the broad spectrum, not any one affiliation, the broad spectrum of conservatism and the Constitution, bringing back those old traditional values.
Okay. Well,
But I don't expect you to endorse us or anything. I was just wondering,
No,
because
not
I
at
am
all.
a member of the GOP, and I am a member, and I was elected here, and I was just wondering what your thought was on that. But I respect if you don't want to answer. I thought as a conservative, you might be dumbfounded by the fact that the GOP would be willing to stifle or stymie someone's freedom of association.
Yeah, doesn't that seem like McCarthyism? What's going on?
I mean, it just
Right?
it
Any
really kinda-
association with some group that they don't like, and then they can
Also,
get rid of them.
I mean, it's
because
just
of their
crazy. It's not the
association. They
left,
can
you
cancel
know?
them out.
It's the left.
They can get them fired.
it's history repeating.
it's the decision they've made, and I think the leadership of the party has done a great job, and that's the decision they've made. So
Is
I'm
there
not
any
involved in
due
that.
process of law in something like this with an elected official? Because actually, if they've made a decision without any kind of a trial or without the public being there,
I
it
violated no
seems
bylaws.
pretty unfair to me. Because due process of law is the right in the Constitution.
I mean, that would piss me off if I was an elected official and one of my constituents was having their
Okay,
freedom
you
stomped on.
flip the tide here. If it was a member of BLM or someone that associated with Antifa in the Democratic Party, would that be okay for? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm Marjorie Taylor Greene,
Yeah.
as a GOP member. They're literally going in 2018. Jeff was doing some stuff. We don't like it. And GOP's like, okay, cool. We'll handle that. Don't worry. And I'm just wondering, because, dude, I've been following you running for 3 years. I know you've seen me. We've been in the same elevator rides. I've been to your office. Every event at the Capitol I see you because you're a part of our movement. It scares me that you don't seem to care. It does. I mean, it really does, Kevin. Like, I've got friends that are like, dude, don't mess with Kevin. And I didn't come to mess with you. I respect you.
Right.
And none of us
You know what I mean? I didn't
No,
come to
no,
respect.
respect.
Look back, it's
Kevin, I didn't come here to butt.
never.
You know what? I mean,
I would like to have one. Yeah.
We respect you, dude. Thank you.
If he's
All right.
committed no crimes, then what should be the? Why would
you
they
guys,
bother?
I appreciate you taking the time to tell me, how you feel. And again, I'll reiterate,
Because you know what, I didn't.
I'm always open to talk to any one of my constituents about these issues. And
You're talking to them
but
right
this
now.
is, I think I've made my opinion on that call.
You gave no opinion, but that's fine.
That's where I stand,
You choose to
so-
have no opinion. That's understandable.
Kevin, I got a question for you. In your words, what does it mean to be a conservative Republican?
I do have to go here, and I made a promise that I would listen to what you had to say. So if
You can't even
I
answer
have
just
another
that question?
minute or two, if you have anything else you want me to know, but then I can.
No, we're not here to demonize you. We're not here to put you on the hot spot. We're just here to get simple questions answered. And like you said, if the Fifth Amendment is, pleading the Fifth is where you want to go, we would like to have maybe a more of a closed door sit down in the future just to go over things a little bit more in depth. If that's
It'd be the
okay with you.
equivalent, It'd be the equivalent of them wanting to get you out of the assembly or whatever because you're a vaccine denier. You know what I mean? That's kind of the same thing. Like if you,
What are you
you're
talking
not.
about with the vaccine? Kevin supports vaccines?
no, Kevin's like
No.
me. He believes in freedom of choice and clean
They've
vaccines.
You want me
labeled
to make it
them.
out too?
They've labeled them
You know?
as a vaccine denier.
It's the same thing. It's like if you've got people being labeled stuff, he stands on a certain point. If they say you're a vaccine
Please, by the
denier,
way, do not take the
that scares me. That right there scares me, bro.
Because they don't tell you when
That
they're
needs to hit the
are
social
aborted.